Jarno Salomaa from Shape of Despair.
And Natalie Koskinen from Shape of Despair.
Hello, hello.
Great.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise.
So before we even get started with Shape of Despair, I'm curious what your thoughts are. Why do you think so much good metal comes out of such a small country as Finland?
Well,
It's an inordinate amount, I think.
It's probably because of weather or something. A lot of darkness.
I don't know.
Or maybe it's something about doing something with alcohol and Finnish people are quite heavy drinkers also, but
I'm just curious.
You make us sound like an alcoholic people.
Nah.
That's not good.
I was just telling him my partner is from Finland. She's in a band called Silentium. She couldn't be here today, but Rina has been doing this with me for the last couple of years.
I actually know Rina.
Oh, really?
Very well.
That's funny, yeah. She's been my partner here for the last couple of years, and today she had something come up, so.
Okay, that's too bad.
So anyway, let's talk about Shape of Despair then. So, for those not familiar with the band, can you give us the 2-sentence boardroom pitch?
Well, we play very slow metal, doom metal. Some people say we play funeral doom metal, but then again, I think categorizing us to simply just for funeral doom metal is maybe not right.
That might be too narrow.
But close to that.
I mean, I could see the doom, but I think that's probably too narrow to be funeral doom, maybe.
Yeah, I'm at the same level. Yeah.
So, new record Return to the Void was released, I guess about a month ago, a little over a month ago. Now that it's out, what's been the response to it, and how do you feel about it? Are you satisfied with the way it turned out?
Well, honestly, I'm more than satisfied myself. What I'm expecting myself when we got this record into our own hands, it's literally that we have finished the work just as how we wished everything would go. And this time it was even more better result because we were producing and engineering this album from beginning till the end, except mastering, of course. But then again, this process, I think it was much more better than on previous albums. Even we were very much along with those albums as well, but this is a much more bigger step forwards from us.
Did you do all of that yourself because of the situation we were all living in, or was that something you were going to do anyway?
That was about to do anyway, but then again, mixing the album was a bit more impulsive thing from our drummer Samu. But in a way, it was very damn good, fine impulse.
What was it like writing during, because I'm assuming this was written during the pandemic and through all the global shit that we all dealt with. So what was it like writing this record during the pandemic, and how much of that made its way into it? Especially because I think doom metal or this slower metal lends itself to more expression like that anyway, right?
Yeah, but then again, I started this before pandemic even started. So actually, pandemic didn't affect us in any way, in songwriting or anywise. So I think it just gave us much more freer hands to start focusing on recording and rehearsing the album itself. So it was much more easier in a way. So you don't have to focus on rehearsing on some certain live shows, for example.
Were you guys able to get into the same room and write, or is that not how you do things? Are you taking advantage of technology?
Well, yeah, that's just usually me. I'm liking to make those demos by myself and bring all the stuff as early as possible for other members. Yeah, but then again, we have lots of different processes after that. For example, Natalie and Henry is arranging vocals, and that takes some time from themselves as well. And honestly, Henry and Natalie would be so perfect to tell something about their vocal arrangements on this one.
Okay.
Well, you may not.
We did it like separately with Henry, actually. He, for some songs, he made some, brought up some ideas, and then I tried to improvise to complete the song. And for some songs, I just, did it by myself. So
yeah.
Do you
usually it goes like that.
Is that how that's a normal process anyway?
Yeah, actually, yes. Yeah.
That's interesting. I know a lot of bands do things different ways, especially now that, technology is so different in the way we've lived. But I still think that that the interaction between people and playing off each other adds something to the music that you don't get in a purely let me send you this file world. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does.
And,
again,
I mean, for us, it's like we knew each other for very many years. It's this is the way. It's pretty natural for us, really, to do this. We know each other very, very well. We know what we want, how we want the music will sound, and so it just works for us.
That's great.
At least.
Is there something you want your fans to take away from, or the listener to take away from after listening to any of your albums, but in specific, Return to the Void? Is there like a takeaway message?
Not from my side. My passion is making some music, and I don't usually guide people or tell people to have any kind of listening habits, so to say, from our music. I think everyone has their own kind of habits to listen whatever music they listen, whether it be on the background or playing as loud as possible from beginning till the end. And I think that's the correct way for myself, at least, to play it as loud as possible and concentrate on it, because personally, for me, this is not the background music.
Right. Do you find it that you're writing songs like for the song's sake, or are you writing songs how they're going to sound live, like how powerful they're going to be live or how loud they're going to be live? Or are you writing a song just a song?
Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
And
definitely
then
not no images about live shows, because it won't even make sense, because we are making handful of shows per year, maybe.
Right. So with that being said, then, do you find it difficult translating any of your stuff into the live setting? Because in the studio, you can do a whole bunch of things, right, that you can't do live.
Yeah. And that's one thing we've came across when we started first thinking about these live shows in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the main feature in our music is having lots of keyboards, and that was a big challenge to think about how this will be brought into live situation, because of many layers of keyboards. But then again, it's also interesting how to make it sound at least a bit more different, maybe, in a live situation. And I think that's maybe over all these years, we are maybe now getting to think of a bit more differently in that wise.
Do you find it difficult not writing the same record? I mean, this is record number 5 or 6, right?
5, yeah.
5. Do you find it difficult not writing like the same record that you just wrote the previous one, or constantly reinventing yourself? Or is that not an issue?
No, this is, I think every album is a bit different. It has a bit different mood, every album from each other. And of course, we are thinking about many years of differences between the albums itself. So it's not like, multiple products per year or 2 years. You are changing your mind in some views, maybe your music likings are about to change a bit also, and you're getting inspiration from different sources. And I think that's maybe the biggest key on making albums and music is to have a bit more wider maybe approach to what you're making. And I'm sure the same goes as well on vocalists as well. They're having a different kind of moods, also how they listen music, and of course all the years are changing them as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we are not the same band as we used to be. I mean, years are going by, and we are older.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, we're
we
not.
have. Yeah, I'm still 20. Yeah, and we work with many different bands, and we got so many different experience for different bands. So it of course it affects on the music we do now these years. So the way I see it, we are much better.
So that you see the progression as you go along. Sure.
Yeah, and this is how it should be.
I agree. And you said, I know you mentioned that you said we're getting older. Did you ever imagine you'd still be doing this? It's what's like 20 years later since the first record, or more?
Hopefully.
Because bands come and go. It's pretty significant to still make relevant records 23 years later, I guess. Is that when Shades came out?
Yeah.
We're going to make new live shows with wheelchairs,
But I also imagine that, I know you said you only play a few shows a year, but I imagine that those shows are multi-generational, right? Because you've got people bringing their kids to the shows, which is something you probably have not seen.
That's true, and that makes us sound even more older.
But it's cool because it's a built-in fan base, right? Because I know when I go to shows now, I can't wait to take my son to see, whatever I'm going to see. And you kind of turn on the next generation.
Yeah, that's true.
That's nice.
Yeah. That's nice, actually.
Yeah. And I have to say, in my opinion, Shape of Despair is one of the difficult band to play live. Because some people must think that or might think that this is very slow music. It's very easy to play. It's not true. It's far from it. It's very, very, very difficult to be on stage and play this kind of music.
I think there's that old saying that like less is more, but I think it's definitely probably more difficult when it's not as heavy and not as fast and is sped up, and it's probably more difficult to fill those voids.
Yeah, it is for sure. And you really need to concentrate on the music. Yeah, and you're never sure what kind of sounds it will be like on the different places,
Right.
So it's not easy.
So what do you have? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just trying to say that, of course, when we are thinking about this music, and it's not that kind of party music, so to say. And
right.
Think about live shows itself. It's kind of also a bit challenge to try to get people into that kind of mood that we are representing our music, and it's also a bit of a challenge also, especially if we are talking about festival cases.
Right, everybody wanting to mosh and run around, and then you guys are up there with almost an anti-mosh stuff, right? It's a lot different vibe.
Yeah,
it is.
But still, it's kind of where it all started, right? Sabbath was heavy and slow back in the late 60s as well.
True.
Yeah.
And there's room for all of that, for sure.
Yeah.
What do you guys have planned? I know you said you do 6 shows a year. Are you doing any of the summer festivals or anything cool coming up?
Yeah, we have already 2 festivals confirmed for this year. First one is a Tuska Festival here in Finland. in July, and next one will be at Germany, Partisan,
Oh,
in
nice.
August. Yeah, but that's so far the only
Yeah.
confirmed shows because of the pandemic.
What's it gonna feel like to finally get back out on stage after? I mean, I assume you haven't played in a while because of this nonsense, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. I think it's more than 2 years. Yeah, with shape, I mean.
Yeah. What's it gonna be like getting back out there? Any kind of nerves or any kind of reservations or?
In a way, I'm excited to go back to stage. Even I'm never that comfortable playing live, but anyhow, I think it's going to be a very nice experience again.
I think I think the energy is going to be crazy, right? Because people like me are dying to see shows, so the energy exchange is probably, even if it's slower music like yours, it's still going to be, the energy exchange is going to be off the chain.
Yeah, I'm really expecting that. At least it's going to be for the band itself.
Yeah, but I imagine people in the audience too, because there's a million people who haven't been to shows yet and are just now starting to get out.
Yeah.
And live music, there's nothing like it. And when you're used to it and it gets taken away, it's been built up now. They're ready.
Yeah, well, I had similar experience. I was in last month. I was seeing one concert actually in North Macedonia, and I think I haven't seen any proper show in these 2 years, and it's been so long time. And honestly, it felt very good.
Yeah, it felt great, right? The first notes hit you, and you're like, "Whoa, I missed it."
Yeah.
It's amazing that you get so used to something and you do it all the time, and then it gets taken away. How much you could really miss it.
Yeah, that's true.
So what's next for you guys then? Are you going to release more singles, or are you just going to stay with what you've got, or what do you have going forward?
We haven't even talked about that yet, but we have some couple of songs which we are about to finish, and I think there might be some kind of a small release maybe, but not sure yet. We still have to think about those and finish all the songs first, and who knows?
We are not in a hurry, as you probably noticed.
That's great. I mean, if it works for you and you can take your time, then I think the outcome probably is better for it, right? Because you're not rushing to meet some.
Yeah, exactly. In my opinion, you need to you cannot produce anything good if you're doing like new albums, like 2 albums per 1 year.
Right.
Exactly.
To me, it sounds like impossible.
I mean, but
It's
that
like
that has been the music.
wine.
Yeah, but that has been the model, right? Everybody's been, for years, everybody's been doing, release a record, tour for 2 years, release another record. I mean, that's the model. So it's nice that you're able to step outside of that and do it your way.
Agree.
But that runs up against my questions. Did I miss anything you wanted to cover?
Not right now.
If fans want to find you, Shape of Despair, everywhere online?
Everywhere. We don't have proper own website. You can find us from Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. But those are the main channels, and I think that works very well. And of course, if you are interested in buying some merchandise from us, you can head to our own official Bandcamp page. Of course, Season of Mist handles also Bandcamp page and their own website. So please go ahead and check it out.
Yes, please go buy merch. That's how it keeps everybody alive.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Did I miss anything, or we're good?
We are good, and thanks a lot for this interview.
Hey, no
Thank
problem. Be
you.
well,
Thank
my
you for
friends.
having us.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ever wonder what a punch from Elton John feels like?
Or how you'd cope with having turned down the chance to be in Nirvana?
Or what signal Keith Richards gives when he wants you to get the hell out of his hotel room?
Fans of Too Much Effing Perspective don't have to wonder, because they've heard these exact stories and a jillion others on our podcast. I'm Alex Hoffman, former tour manager for Radiohead.
And I'm musician and comedy writer Alan Keller. On the TMEP show, we get guests like Nancy Wilson from Heart, Jeremiah Freitz from the Lumineers, and Modern Family's Julie Bowen to tell us things they may have only shared with their therapist, clergy, or a TMZ stringer.
So join us on Too Much Effing Perspective. That's EFFING Perspective. The only podcast you crank up to 11.